Take this opportunity to find your way onto your back, lowering yourself into your Shavasana and settling into your mat. And take your arms and legs out wide at your sides, releasing through the ankles, let your toes grow heavy. The shoulder blades tuck beneath you, palms face up, releasing through the arms. Letting go of all effort in your body. And any external distractions that may be drawing you off your mat today. Perhaps you invite your eyes to close, allowing the body to feel safe and supported on your mat. Each breath in is the body's invitation to take up space, expanding in all directions, creating a sense of openness, spaciousness in the body. Each breath out sinks you deeper and deeper into the mat, grounding you here in this moment. Take a long inhale through the nose and a soft exhale through the nose. Big breath in and a slow breath out. Holding on to that same slow rhythm of breath, not only here on your back, but as you move through your practice as well. When your mind starts to wander and to leave this practice, direct the thoughts back to the breath, returning the focus to the inhales and the exhales, and giving the mind somewhere else to land. Become aware of the absolute weight of your body, the stillness of your limbs, and maintain that sense of groundedness throughout the entire body. Avoid fidgeting, avoid twitching. Hold on to that stillness as you start to turn the gaze over to the right, really isolating the movement to just your neck, bringing the right ear down towards your mat. Stay grounded through the left shoulder, creating space in the left side of your neck. Slowly bring the gaze back through center and over to the left. Left ear finds its way down towards the mat. Continue drawing the breath in and out through your nose, allowing the belly to fill with each breath in, to soften with each breath out. Draw the gaze back through center. We'll start to awaken the rest of the body, first by wiggling the fingers and the toes. Find some gentle rotations through the wrists and the ankles. Rotating in the opposite direction. Slide the feet together at the bottom of your mat. Flex the toes towards your face, the heels resting on the floor. Bend through your right knee, bring the right knee in towards your chest, interlace the fingers around it, maybe taking hold of the thigh, whatever is accessible. Stay active through your left leg. Send the right hip away from the shoulders and down into your mat as you hug your right knee in close. Each breath in fills your belly so much so that it starts to press the right knee away from your chest. And as you exhale, the belly softens, creating space for your knee to draw inward. Notice as you're holding this pose if the left toes start to fall over to the left, if the left ankle is relaxing. Stay active through the left leg. Keep the left toes pointing to the sky and drawn towards your face. Stay here in stillness or root down through the left hip. Start to take some gentle circles with the right knee. Moving at half the speed your body naturally wants to move. Rotate in the opposite direction. Finding some movement through the right hip crease, lubricating the joint. Find stillness in the center. Hug the right knee into your chest. Big breath in to lengthen. On the out breath, find your twist. Right knee crosses over the body towards the left side. Right shoulder stays in contact with the mat. Turn the gaze over the right shoulder. Filling up the lower right belly with breath. You can always place a pillow or a block beneath the right knee. Or just let it hang in space. Being mindful not to apply too much pressure to the right knee. Bring your gaze back through center. Right knee will follow. Hug the right knee in towards the chest once again. Transition the grip to the back of the right thigh. So you can interlace the fingers. You can always use a strap if you prefer. Hold on to that right thigh as you start to reach the right foot up towards the ceiling. Deep flex in the ankle draws the toes towards your face. If that's too much, you can always bring a bend into the left knee. Working towards a straight right leg, but it's okay to have a little bend in the knee. It's also okay to have the leg a little bit closer to the ground. You just want to feel a bit of a stretch in the back of the right thigh, so whatever height works for you that you're feeling that stretch. Ground down through the left hip. Send the right hip away from the shoulders and down into the mat as you apply gentle pressure to the back of your right thigh. Drawing the toes a little bit closer to the floor behind your head. Really reaching through the right heel here. The right heel is reaching up towards the ceiling as if it's trying to reach the ceiling, trying to touch the lights. The right hip is firmly rooted, resisting that pull. Root down through the outer right hip. Don't let this area lift up off of the ground. Start to send the right foot over to the left side, just a couple of inches here. Continue to draw the toes beyond the left shoulder as you press down through your outer right hip. Just shifting where it is that we're feeling the stretch. You might be feeling it more into the outer glute or into the outer hip. You can play with where you're pointing the toes, maybe setting the toes a little bit further to the left than the heel. Just seeing how that changes the stretch in your body while staying firm through the left hip. Don't let the hip shift side to side. Slowly come back through center. Bend the left knee if the leg is extended. And we're going to release the right leg on top of the left, crossing at the legs as if you're sitting cross-legged in the chair. So right thigh over top of left. Square up the hips with your shoulders. And with the crossed knees, draw them in towards your chest. Be taking hold of the knees. Press down through your pelvis, through your tailbone, as you hug the knees in close. If you're not quite feeling a stretch here into the outer hip and glute area, you can start to walk the hands down the shins, drawing the heels away from one another. But as the heels draw away from one another, keep squeezing the knees in towards your chest. Press the pelvis into the mat. The body has funny ways of getting out of the stretch, of easing off. One of those is to round through the low back, lift your pelvis and tailbone off the mat, so it looks like you're in the pose, but not actually experiencing the stretch. Stay heavy through the pelvis. Hug the knees in close, and then work on drawing the heels away from each other. Slowly release the heels. Let the left foot find the floor, the right foot join it. Be a gentle sway from side to side with the knees. The soles of the feet come to touch the knees, fall wide apart, creating a diamond shape with the legs. The closer the heels are to your pelvis, the more you'll be feeling this stretch, so to ease off, send the toes further away from the pelvis. You can also place pillows or blocks beneath the knees, maybe even just put your fists underneath of the thighs, to let this be more supportive and restorative. Alternatively, you can place one hand on your belly, one hand on the heart, and just feel the body breathing. Notice the gentle rise and fall of belly and chest with every breath. With or without the help of your hands, draw the knees back towards one another. Bring the left knee in towards the chest, interlace the fingers around it, and extend your right leg long to the bottom of your mat. Flex the right ankle, draw your right toes towards your face, but you can relax through the left ankle. Wind relieving pose on the left, hug your left knee in close. Think about drawing the right kneecap up towards the right hip. Maybe you choose to stay in stillness here, or you can start to take gentle rotations through the left knee. Really rooting down through the right hip. Avoid swaying from side to side. Maintain that contact between right hip and floor. Sometimes it's helpful to place your hand under the right hip, press down into your hand, and you'll notice if the weight starts to lift off of it. Rotate the opposite direction. Find stillness in the center. Take hold of the left knee with both hands again. Hug it in close. Release your left arm at your side. Big breath in to lengthen through the spine. And on the out breath, find your twist. Left leg comes over to the right. And the gaze can stay facing neutral or over to the left. Filling up your lower left belly with breath here. Bring your gaze back through center. Let your left knee find center as well. Hug it in. Transition the grip to the back of your left thigh. Stay active through the right leg. Keep your toes drawn towards the face. Start to straighten the left foot up towards the ceiling. Left hip reaches away from the shoulders down into the mat as you apply gentle pressure to the back of the left thigh. Bringing in a little bit closer towards your belly without bringing a bend into the knee. Feeling for the back of the left hamstring, the back of your left thigh to activate through this stretch. Reach the left heel towards the ceiling, the left kneecap towards your left hip. Left hips reaching away from the shoulders, right hips reaching slightly towards them, but both hips are equally rooted into the mat. Stay here in the center, or start to ground down through your outer left hip. Without lifting your left hip off of the mat, walk the left foot slightly over towards the right, reaching the toes beyond the right shoulder. And maybe you play with rotating through the hip, turning the left toes inwards towards the right side a little bit further. Really press down through your outer left hip though. We're not coming into a twist. We want that left hip on the mat. At the same time, we're continuing to apply that gentle pressure to the back of the thigh, reaching the left hip away from the shoulders. Come back through center. One more breath here. Bend the right knee, bring the sole of the right foot to the mat if it's not already there. And start to cross the left leg over the right as if you're sitting cross-legged in a chair. The hips are even, shoulders as well. Draw the cross legs in towards your chest, take hold of the knees, and hug them in close. Keep the tailbone reaching away from the top of your head and down into the mat as you hug the knees in. Avoid rounding through the low back. If you're not quite feeling a stretch here, you could start to draw the heels away from each other, walking the hands down the shins and taking hold of the ankles or the outside of the feet. The heels walk away from each other, but the knees continue to squeeze in, pressing your tailbone into the mat. Likely feeling this here into the left hip, the left glute area. You may find that as you start to walk the heels away from each other, the knees start to inch away from the chest. Really focus on squeezing the knees inwards. Pressing the pelvis into the ground. Avoid rounding up through the low back. Slowly release. Let your feet find the floor. That gentle sway from side to side. Find stillness through the center. Reach your right arm up overhead. And roll over onto your right side body. You can use the right arm as a pillow. Let the left palm rest softly on the ground or on your body. Start to breathe some space into your back body. Letting go of that first portion of class. Or any expectations of what's to follow. When you feel ready in your own time, find your way up to a tabletop position. Shoulders over the wrist, hips over the knees. Move through a few cat and cows. On the in-breath, lift the tailbone, let the belly drop, heart comes forward, gaze comes up. On the exhale, tuck your tailbone. Rounded spine, hollow out the chest as you gaze to your belly button. Big breath in, lifted tailbone, heart comes forward, gaze comes up. Exhale, cat, round your spine, really drive down through the hands as you hollow out your chest and gaze to the belly button. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Big breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale. Stay with that same motion, or as you exhale, round your spine, send your hips back towards the heels for a rounded back child's pose. Release the elbows onto the mat. Glide forward, letting the heart and chin graze the mat until you reach the hand. Press down through the palms, lift up into your chest. Exhale, rounded spine, hips to heels. Inhale, glide forward, stay as low as you can the whole way. Once you reach the hands, press through the palms, lift up to count. Either variation, moving through 3 more at your own pace. Linking each movement to a breath and allowing each cycle to be a little bit slower than the one before it. No rush at all, but when you get there, just landing in a neutral spine. Walk the knees back a couple of inches. Find a modified plank. Shoulders over the wrists, belly button and low ribs draw in. Lengthen through the spine, big breath in. As you exhale, slowly lower with control. Let the elbows graze the ribs, resisting the floor the whole way down. Landing with the palms beneath the shoulders, draw the elbows in towards the ribs and back towards your heels. Press down through the shoelace side of the feet, reach through your big toes, so much so that the knees start to lift. The gaze is down towards the mat as you inhale, lengthen and lift collarbones and 1 or 2 ribs off with the mat. Exhale, lower down. Keep pressing through your feet, big inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale, lower. And 1 more time, lengthen and lift, baby cobra. This time we're going to hold the pose, but keep breathing. Press down firm through your feet. Keep your legs active. Squeeze all the muscles in towards the bone. Think about lengthening through your low back as you lift the heart up off of the mat. Slowly lower down. Bring the left arm in front of your face and use that as a pillow for your forehead. Turn your left toes to face the left side of the room. Start to bend the left knee, bringing the inseam of your left hand leg to the floor. Walking the left knee to roughly in line with the hip, but it does not have to get there. Working towards a 90-degree bend in the knee, the hip, and the ankle for half frog pose. Press down firm through your inner thigh, through your left hip. Let your forehead rest on your left arm. You can stay here just as you are with the right leg extended long. Or start to bend the right knee, draw the right heel in towards the glutes. Maybe reach back with the right hand and take hold of the foot. Squeezing the right heel towards the glutes, they do not have to touch. Press down firm through the entire front of your right leg. From the knee to the hip, pressing into the mat. And if you were wearing jeans right now, imagine sending the zipper from the base of the zipper all the way to the button into the mat as well. Stay active through this pose. Continue pressing all of those areas into your mat. Drawing your right heel in towards your bum. Slowly release the right foot. Extend the right leg long. Slide the left leg back to meet the right. Return the hands beneath the shoulders. You can take another round of baby cobra, or we're going to bring the arms onto the mat, the forearms on the mat. Shoulders are above the elbows. The arms are roughly parallel, like a number 11. If you have low back sensitivities, you can create some space between the feet. It'll just allow a little more space in your low back, a little more comfort. Coming into Sphinx pose. Fingers spread wide. Elbows stay beneath the shoulders. Without moving the arms, think about drawing the elbows towards the hips, using that momentum to lengthen through the low back. Gaze is forward. Shoulders draw away from the ears. Stay open through the heart. Draw the collarbones away from one another. The shoulder blades down your back as you lengthen through the low back. Slowly, with control, lower back down. This time bringing the right arm in front of your face. Let your forehead rest. Lengthen through your left leg. Turn the toes of the right foot to face the right side. Start to bend your right knee, coming into half frog on the opposite pose. Opposite side, rather. The inseam of your right pant leg is facing the ground. The right ankle is flexed, right toes draw towards your shin. The right knee is roughly in line with the right hip as you press down through your inner thigh and right hip. Stay here in your half frog pose. Or keep the right leg just as it is. Start to draw the left heel in towards your bum. Reach back with the left hand for the foot, the ankle, the pant leg. You can always use a strap if you have one. Draw the left heel in closer to your bum. Press down from the left hip all the way down to the left knee. Both left and right hip are reaching for the mat. And the entire length of your imaginary zipper is pressing into the ground. Creating as much distance between the left knee and the top of your head as you can. Slowly release your left leg. Let the right leg join in. Bring your hands beneath the shoulders. Press up through tabletop. We're going to come into a narrow leg child's pose. So you can have as much space between the thighs as you need to support your belly. But we want them a little more narrow to allow space for the arms to come back. For now, the hands are reaching forward, palms into the ground. Let your forehead rest on something, so maybe that's the mat, maybe it's a block or a pillow. creating length through the spine as the hips sink down towards your heels. Keep the right hand just as it is, reaching to the front of your mat. Start to slide the left hand over to the left and back behind you, reaching for your left toes. Keep the shoulders in line with one another. Start to walk the right hand over to the top left corner of the mat. Forehead still resting on the floor or on a pillow. Think about pressing the right armpit down towards the mat, maybe even beyond the right knee. So it's as if the right armpit's trying to touch the floor on the right side of the mat, but the left or right hand rather is at the top left corner of the mat. Right hip continues to sink down towards the right heel. If this isn't working, you can always bring the left hand up to meet the right. Walk the right hand back through center. Let the left hand join it. Take a breath here in your neutral child's pose. We'll move to the opposite side. So right hand this time is going to reach back towards the toes on the right. Left hand starts to walk towards the top right corner of your mat. Keep your left hip sinking down towards the left heel. The left armpit is reaching away from the left fingertips and down towards the mat by your left knee. Keep sending the left hip back towards the left heel. Letting the left armpit grow heavy as it sinks towards your mat. Slowly bring the left hand through center. Let the right hand join it. Arms extend long. Bring the palms to touch in prayer. The elbows can stay a little bit wider here. Put shoulders distance apart. Start to bring the prayer hands up towards the ceiling, elbows on the floor. Maybe this is where you stop. Maybe you keep reaching the fingertips back towards your hip, bringing the thumb to rest on the back of the head or the back of your neck. Really press those palms together. Bring the hands back towards the mat. Palms find the ground. Find your way up to a child's or a tabletop. From your tabletop, just a gentle sway from side to side. Let that go. And we'll come to find a comfortable seated position. So maybe that's sitting cross-legged. Maybe you choose to sit up onto a pillow or a block to allow the hips to be more in line with the knees. Sitting up tall, invite the eyes to close. Shoulders are stacked above your hips. Let the hands rest on the knees or the floor beside you. And take a moment here in a seated meditation. Same as when we're lying on our back in Shavasana. Just using this opportunity to connect with the stillness of the body, with the breath. with the earth beneath you. Stay tall and long through the spine, reaching the top of your head away from the tailbone. Allow the shoulder blades to glide softly down your back, away from the ears. Stay open through the chest and the collarbones. Become aware of the movement of the body with every breath. A gentle expansion on every breath in. And feel everything move back in towards the midline with each breath out. Become aware of the contact points between the body and your mat. The hips, feet, the ankles. Notice those points of contact grow heavier and heavier with each breath out. Each breath in, creating a sense of spaciousness, openness in the body, an invitation to take up more space and be present. And each breath out, really grounding you here on your mat. Without opening the eyes, start to take gentle rotations through the upper body, drawing circles with the torso. Moving at half the speed your body naturally tries to move. Rotating in the opposite direction. Find stillness in the center. You can open the eyes. Big breath in, reach up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, just passively fold forward, rounding through the upper body. Let the head grow heavy. Not trying to grip or pull or to force ourselves down faster. Just really surrendering to the ground beneath you, to gravity. Really focus on releasing through the back of the neck, letting the head release. Turn the palms to face the ground. Walk yourself back up. Sit tall. Inhale, reach up. On the out breath, right hand comes to the mat, left fingertips reach up and over to the right. Think about sending the lower left ribs up towards the ceiling. Gaze is neutral. And the heart is facing the room in front of you, not the floor. Slowly come back through center, fingertips meeting at the top. On the exhale, right hand comes to the left knee, left hand comes behind you. Gaze over the left shoulder for a twist. Really focus on lengthening through the spine. And then deepening the twist. Come back through center, maybe a counter twist if that feels good in your body. And come through center. A perfect opportunity to cross your legs in the opposite direction if they're crossed. So opposite leg in front. Sit up tall, shoulders over hips. Close the eyes. Connect with the mat beneath you. Find your breath. And this time we're going to take the rotations into our neck. So draw the chin towards the chest. Send the left ear over towards the left shoulder. Come back through center. Right ear to right shoulder. Back through center. To the left. Back through center. To the right. Continuing with your own rhythm. Moving at half the speed your body naturally wants to move. Really forcing it to slow down through these motions. Staying tall through the spine. And making sure it's the ear coming towards the shoulder, not the shoulder coming up towards the ear. As one ear comes towards the shoulder, the opposite ear is reaching up towards the sky. So if someone's taking you by the earlobe and lifting up through the upper side. When you feel even from side to side, land in the center. Gaze comes forward. Sit up tall, eyes can open. Big breath in, reach up. On the out breath, left hand finds the mat, right fingertips reach up and over to the left. Really root down through your right hip. Again, making sure the heart is facing forward, not down towards the mat or up towards the sky. We want a neutral spine. Sending the right lower ribs up towards the sky as the right hip roots down. Come back through center, fingertips meet at the top. Left hand comes to the right knee, right hand comes behind you, find your twist. Gaze over the right shoulder. You can use the right fingertips on the ground or the low back behind you to press down and lengthen up. Gentle pressure on the left knee to deepen the twist. Come back through center. Maybe that counter twist if you took it on the opposite side. Come back through center. Extend the legs long in front of you. Maybe draw some circles with the toes, rotations through the ankles in both directions. Pause with the feet extended, and then just let go of any effort. So don't worry so much about flexing through the ankles or pointing the toes in any one particular direction. We want the legs to be passive here. So we're not worried about flexing, about drawing the toes in any one direction or pointing them to the sky. You can lift one hip up, slide your glute out from beneath you, then the other, just to create some space. Inhale, big breath up. On the exhale, passively fold forward over the legs. So we want a rounded back here, but it's important that you're not forcing yourself deeper into the twist. Release the chin towards the chest, finding length at the back of your neck. Turn the palms up to resist the temptation to grip and pull yourself deeper. And just become a ragdoll, letting go of all effort. We're not flexing. We're not contracting. All of the muscles are soft and relaxed. Letting go of the head may be the hardest part. So just notice if you're controlling where the head is in space. Maybe do a couple yes and no motions to encourage it to release, then find stillness, allowing the head to grow heavy. Turn the awareness back to your breath as it moves in and out through your nose. Feel your entire back body expanding with each breath. The upper back, the mid back, and lower. All growing in space, all expanding with each breath in. And with each breath out, finding some softness and surrendering to gravity, maybe sinking a little deeper into your hold. Turn the palms to face the ground and walk yourself up inch by inch, moving at half the pace you feel you should. Allowing your head to come up last. Start to slowly lower yourself onto your back with a bend in the knees. Walk the feet to the edges of your mat. Let the knees tend in to touch. And release your arms at your side. Take a few moments here to allow the low back to settle into the mat. The space between your feet and the knees supporting one another, it creates space in your low back to allow you to release any tension that may have developed in that area. Keep the feet wide apart, draw the knees away from one another. And without the feet shifting closer to each other, start to tip the knees over to the right. If it feels okay in your neck, you can bring your gaze to the left. Send your breath here into the lower left belly, front of your left pelvis. Let your gaze come back through center. The knees will follow. And just check in on the feet. Have they shifted closer to one another? Can you send them back to the edges of the mat? Before letting the knees find their way over to the left. Gaze can stay neutral or over to the right. Sending the breath here to the lower right belly, the front of your right pelvis. Gaze comes through center, knees will follow. Heel toe, the feet through center. Let the soles of the feet come to touch, the knees fall open like a book, creating a diamond shape with the legs. The closer the heels are to the pelvis, the more of a stretch you'll be feeling, so just adjust accordingly. Start to settle into this pose. Close the eyes. The arms stay wide at your sides with the palms facing up. The shoulder blades tucked beneath you. Bring a gentle tuck into the chin, lengthening up the back of your neck. Let the head fall heavy. Feel the breath as it moves in and out through your nose. Create a sense of openness through the chest, the collarbones, the throat. Become aware of the breath as it passes through that area. Following it from the moment it comes through the nostrils, down the throat, through the lungs, and fills your belly high. At the same time, notice that same breath exiting that same pathway. Be feeling a little warmer each time it passes out of the nose. Feel the support of the ground beneath the upper body, shoulders, upper back, mid-back, and lower. Supported and safe here on your mat. The front body remains light and fluid, moving freely and organically with breath. Maintain that sense of stillness, of ease through the upper body, and one by one extend your feet long to the bottom of your mat, finding your final resting pose, Shavasana. The feet go out wide to the edges of the mat, the ankles release, the toes grow heavy. The entire body, from the tip of your toes to the top of your head, settles into stillness and relaxation. Sending yourself a little bit of gratitude with each breath in, for making it here onto your mat today, for setting aside this hour for yourself. It can be so challenging, especially during busy summer months, to have a little me time, a little bit of time to unwind from our busy schedules. So send yourself some gratitude for doing just that. Even if that means spending the entire hour on your mat, that is still a yoga practice. With such gratitude today and always for you joining me in practice. Namaste.